Hello there everyone and welcome back to another episode of Dragon Mania Legends. So for today we are pretty much just going to be chilling, doing some clan quests and stuff because I haven't focused on the Great Dragon Race in quite a while. So really we should be doing as much of that as we can. You can tell that the Xuanzang so far has been avoiding me, but soon enough we'll be able to keep retrying for his breed. I really want him! Like, stop avoiding me already. But while we're going through and doing some of this stuff, we have to do side quest fights. I did also want to mention that if anyone's been on the forums recently, you probably would have seen that there has been talk about the fact that we are going to get an update for this game in July. We don't know when in July, all that we've heard is that there is something coming in July. So, you know, that gives us like another half a month, something like that, until we get some new update stuff, which, you know, that's actually pretty soon after the other stuff that we've been having. But some people have been speculating, is this a big update? Is this just some additional, like, meager stuff like what we got last time? Because if you remember one of the last updates, it was just sort of some new dragons, whatever, and not an awful lot was added apart from the new event type. But I'm curious to see what's going to be added anyway. Even I haven't been sent any info on what the new update stuff is, obviously, because it is a bit early for that. But, you know, I'm wondering, what do you guys want to see in this coming update? Because, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the dungeon has been neglected for a very long time. And I feel like if they added something to the dungeon, I feel like a lot of the older players would be more interested in going back and doing stuff in there, but I don't know, maybe there's a reason as to why they don't want to do that. We'll have to wait and see anyway. And some people are asking for more Enchantment League rewards, and I'm thinking, Jesus, how many people do you think actually have the Sumo Dragon out of the population of the world? Not a whole lot, but you know, there's a lot of little things, or things to where we could get some more dragons, or some new stuff added. There's quite a lot in this game that we could have, but, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. There's an endless amount of possibilities. Again, I've heard something about boss dragons having an alteration. I don't know whether that's true or not. Probably not. It was just sort of an outside source that I don't think really has anything official related to it, but, you know, just in case, bear that in mind. Maybe something happening with boss dragons. Maybe we'll get another increase on the amount of map fights. Maybe we'll get a level increase on dragons, which, you know, that'd probably annoy me a little bit. Obviously, since we're just about to get 2 of ours to level 70, and then if they increase the max level to 90, obviously I'm gonna feel left behind again. But, you know, that's my own fault rather than anyone else's. Our clay dragon has gotten destroyed in this fight, I don't care. What do we want to use here? Yeah, minor damage, fine. That's useful. There we go. Surely you can deal with this now. I am still a little bit sick, as you can probably tell. Are you actually going to die from this attack as well? I was going to say, you better not. And why is this fight so difficult? We're only at rank 500. Jesus. Okay, we're back to level 30s now. That's fine. But, yeah, like I was saying, I mean, I don't know, do we want more enchantment breedable dragons, or do we have enough? What is people's consensus on that? Because obviously I'm just about to finish the last breed off for the enchantment dragons, but I know a lot of people that finished them off a long time ago. And then in the same light, I remember seeing a survey done on the DML wiki not too long ago asking just how many enchantment dragons, like, players have in general, and, you know, a good portion of the DML player base actually doesn't have an enchanted dragon. So obviously, following that logic, they don't have an enchantment breedable dragon either. So, if a good portion of the player base doesn't even have one of those dragons, if we added even more, I feel like they'd be left behind as well. But I can't remember what the percentage was, but it was quite an alarming amount. But I think that just shows how many players are actually like a really low level in this game, or a relatively low level, I should say, because obviously for people that have played a long time, you sort of cloud your own judgment and you think, look at all these high level people, there's so many high level players and stuff like that. And while that may be true, you have to think about it in terms of the total player base and what the average level of players is. And I've always said this, I'm pretty sure it's much lower than people actually think it is. So, I don't know, that's my own personal struggle when thinking about new stuff to add. It's how many players are actually going to get use out of this new stuff, and is it just going to be catering to like the top 1% of players, if you get what I'm saying. So, I don't know, obviously, if I was a developer, which I'm not, I would struggle to try and decide between the needs of the old and the needs of the young. It's just like politics, or like just stuff like that in general, you know. Never gonna please everyone, and if you do something for one side of the spectrum, you're gonna annoy the people on the other. That kind of almost makes it sound like a autism or something. That's not what I meant, but you know, just in general, I think you get what I'm trying to say. So, when Gameloft do release new updates and stuff, I always try to think, who is this update for? Is this for the newer players, or is this for the older players? And who's actually going to get the most use out of it? Because, you know, with the Portal Gem fiasco that happened where they took all of them away, obviously that was aimed a lot more towards the newer players, but at the same time, the newer players would be the ones most affected by the reduction in portal gems, because obviously it's going to be a lot harder for them to catch up. If they wanted to play non-stop every day, they no longer can, which means that trying to reach the highest level people now is near impossible. So, while it was aimed towards them, and while I did understand the reasoning behind it, and it was what a lot of people were asking for, I think that's the problem with listening to the general populace. They don't know what they want, and when you give them what they want, everyone just complains anyway, and then it ends up ruining it for everyone. You know, I think that's just life in general, you know. And I feel like that's another thing I would struggle to do if I ever came up with ideas for like a gaming company or something. I would just say, oh my god, they're all retarded, stop. I would struggle to think about it from their perspective, put it that way. But, alas, I doubt I will ever be a game developer. Even though I used to do programming in school and, like, software development, you know, it was one of those things that even though I sort of got it, and I had a lot of experience being around it, it just is so boring. And I'm not personally interested in just sitting there and writing lines of code and fixing IT problems for the rest of my life. So, you know, it's just one of those things. What can you do? What can you do about it? Nothing. But there isn't anything in particular that I even like to study, per se. Like, that's why I personally hated school. I don't know how many of you are still in school, probably quite a lot of you, but I detested it. I didn't enjoy learning anything. My favourite subjects were probably the IT ones, or art. And art I just get annoyed with when it doesn't come out exactly how I want it, so then I throw a hissy fit, and then I get angry, so that doesn't end well. And then obviously, like I said, IT was boring, and that was one of my favourite subjects, so I don't know how you guys cope. I definitely would never ever want to go back to school ever again. I would rather work, like, almost every single day of my life rather than go back and have to learn the stuff that I had to learn in school. Ugh! Makes me sick! You always hear people say, oh, your times at school are the golden times of your life. They're your favourite times that you'll ever have because you've got no worries, no troubles, blah blah blah. You know, screw that. That's just not true. For a lot of people, that is not the case. You know, most people's golden years, I sounded American, what was that? Um, but for most people that is normally, like, during their college period, like, just after they get out of little baby school. So, and by that I mean high school. Slash whatever your equivalent is. I don't know all the terminology for everyone across the globe, okay? But, you know, don't let people misguide you. Your school years, even though, like, it's true you don't really have to worry about work or money for the most part, but at the same time, you don't have any money to begin with. So, a lot of the time you're just like, oh, I want to go out and buy this thing, but I can't because I don't have my own money for it. Great! I swear, since working, literally just having my own cash is like the best thing in the world. Because now I can sit there and go, you know what I need? I need a new headset. And I don't have to wait until Christmas or beg my parents for the money for it. Now I can just go and buy it. And that is the best thing in the world, not having to be dependent on anyone else. Even though, technically, slightly everyone is. But, you know, all I can say is it's much better to buy your own things than it is to rely on someone else to do it. Because then you don't have that nagging like, oh my god, I owe them back. Oh my god, when are they expecting the payment back or repayment? I don't like having that over my shoulders. Which is also the reason why I would never really use a credit card if I could help it. I don't want to rack up debt. And if you're someone that likes to rack up debt, you know, you're a dummy. Stop doing it. You know, you're just ruining your own life. There's no reason to do it. Never buy more than you can afford, as they say. Same goes for you if you are a child in high school, or, I feel really horrible saying that, but, you know, that's kind of what it's like. If you are in high school, you're kind of still like a kid, because most people don't really have any experience with, life in general. But, you know, just in general, don't rack up debt, don't ruin your time, and, you know, you'll be fine, as long as you can follow that. Wow! That Cosmos Dragon didn't even die! What a party pooper right there. Look at that guy. Get out of here! I don't know why I suddenly went from event stuff to, philosophical life advice, but, you know, we ended up here. But all of our energy is now gone. I don't really want to waste any more portal gems. You can see we're already down to 63 of them. So if I keep doing these side quests, we are just going to run out. And that is definitely not what I want to be doing here. Luckily though, we are 75 out of 100 pieces for the Enchantress Dragon. Yeah, remember that? That was added in the other update that everyone's just sort of stopped talking about because we have to wait 100 days to get it. Yeah. We're at 75 pieces now, so we are 3/4 of the way to getting her, which is nice. But, you know, for now we don't really have any other quests to do. We got quite a lot of ingredients out of doing that, which is pretty good. But for now, I'm going to leave you guys there. I'm going to keep trying to breed for the Zhuanzang, whatever the hell his name is. I don't know. It's some foreign, like, East Asian name. I don't know. Sorry if that came across as slightly racist, I didn't mean it like that. But, anyway, for now, I'm going to leave you guys there. Good luck with your breeding as well. And until next time, I will see you then.